This segment on the KNC Masterpiece is brought to you by Classic Chevrolet. Don't miss the Grand Champ Truck Month at Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine. They have 63 acres of discounts and more than just Silverados. They got Equinox, Tahoe, Traverse, Malibu, all of your favorite Chevys. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Relax and enjoy the difference. Find new roads.
Kinsler sends it to right center field. What do you think? Heading all the way back there. Can he get that triple?
He's got it.
The fourth Ranger to hit for the cycle is Ian Kinsler.
And we will have Ian Kinsler on imminently in case you've missed some of the happenings of the day in the baseball world as we're live at Globe Life Field for opening day. The Mets have put Justin Verlander on the injured list with a muscle strain. Aaron Judge hit a home run in his very first at-bat. Plus, we've had on Chuck Morgan, Matt Hicks, Steve Buechele, Chris Young, and now Ian Kinsler's coming up, and we got Hurtado's Barbecue. And this place has been buzzing all day.
Yeah, man, this is one of the things that we get to do as the Rangers station for one. But, man, think about this for a second. When Jacob deGrom was signed, who was the first station that had him on?
Well, it was us.
Yeah, when Chris Young became the GM, when Bruce Bochy became the manager, that was us because we put all that work in. We put all that effort in to be out here. So today, we're out here for the opening day for the Texas Rangers, and it's part of the partnership. It's part of it. But, man, it is great to be here today.
And right now, joining us, Texas Rangers Hall of Famer, Ian Kinsler. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
People are stoked for you already. Now, we've been asking
They can hear it?
player.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
You gotta eat this microphone. There you go.
I can see we're gonna have to mentor you like we did Derek. We got some work to do. Now, we've been asking people who've been involved in the game all day long.
Mike Adams.
What does
Hi, buddy.
opening day mean to you, and what does it mean to the organization?
It means you're in first place, and
That's true.
if you win, then you're still undefeated. So there's a lot of excitement on opening day. I think you spend the whole offseason preparing yourself, the whole spring training preparing yourself, getting together as a team, trying to figure out what your identity is. And it all seems to start today. At the end of the day, when you're done with the game, you get home and you're like, okay, it was one game out of 162. Whether you win or lose, it's not going to make or break the season, but there's something special about opening day where you kind of do feel like there's a correlation there between opening day and how the season's going to go. Statistically, probably not, but the feel of it is always grand.
How much of an adjustment did you have to make going from being a player to now, you're retired and then you went to coaching and then now you're working in the front office kind of thing? So how long did it take you to make that adjustment from after the game, after retiring?
It takes a while. I think everybody's different, but you're so used to having your schedule given to you on a daily basis. You know exactly what you're so regimented. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing at what time of the day. Where you're supposed to be. Whether you're doing off-season workouts, you have your lunches scheduled, your breakfast scheduled. You have everything scheduled, and then when you stop playing, it's just like I guess I'll go play golf. I don't know. So you try to figure that out, but
or like karate with Michael Young.
Yeah, you go get your black belt. Do weird things, but it takes. I think everybody's different, but it takes a little time to feel comfortable with not competing at a high level like that.
Ian Kinsler joining us here on the KNC Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. Now, I don't know if what we saw is true, but my father-in-law and I were watching a game, and you were playing against the Angels, and you travel to go get a pop fly in foul territory. You catch the ball, and you look down, and there's like 3 Angels fans sitting there, and they hold their hands out like, I want the ball. And you just kind of turned around and ran off, and I was like, he's so competitive. He won't even give him a foul ball. I love this guy. Is that like, do you happen to remember this, or were you like that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you see that smile on his face? He remembers. Awesome. He's like, those kids weren't getting that ball.
No, I mean, in today's day and age with social media, I probably got smashed. But, it was more of a joking kind of, you're wearing Angel stuff, you're not getting this.
I like that.
I'll go find the kid with the Rangers hat on and make his day.
What's your thoughts on the pitch clock and the bigger bases? Do you think that plays an advantage as a guy that could have stolen a lot of bases, the guy you're pretty quick in the box.
You'd have to play on the infield again as a second baseman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. When I first heard about all these rules, it seemed a little gimmicky to me. It was my first initial reaction, but I always seem to react that way when it's, replay with the umpires. My first reaction was like, man, this is gimmicky. This isn't the NFL, stuff like that. Those are where my thoughts go right away. But after you see it for a little while, I think that this is really going to improve the game this year. I think the pitch clock's going to improve the game. I don't get the whole big base thing. They're saying injury prone or injuries
just
that are
create
happening.
Safety, yeah.
I don't remember that many injuries happening at first base. Maybe a couple a year.
They don't make them like they used to.
I guess. I don't know.
What about pickoffs?
But
too?
as far as pickoffs and stealing bases, I think it's going to bring the stolen base back into the game, and I think the games are going to be faster paced. I think there's going to be more offense, and I think it's going to be a better product, really.
You are a very aggressive base runner. If a guy had picked, let's just say it's a long at bat, 3-2 count, and he's already picked twice, would you ever try to deke a steal as the pitcher's coming set just to see if you could get a pick? Because if you got back to first, it was automatic to second. So I'm wondering how you might, be an aggressive base runner, want to play with the pitcher to try to get those first 2 picks early in a count.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a base runner now, you got to constantly be deking a stolen base. So they don't know if you're going or if you're just deking. So if you're constantly playing with their head, trying to see where they're at, they don't know if you're just standing there or if you're stealing or what's going on. But I think I'd also trip over my feet with excitement. Like, I don't know, did you see Ronald Acuna the other day? He got 2 picks, and he was safe on both of them, so he knew the guy wasn't going to pick off as a lefty. The guy picked up his foot, and he took off and fell on his feet. He was so excited, he just, wiped out. It just opens up the game, it seems like. And, first and second, let's say a guy gets picked off at second base, the pitcher now only has 2 more opportunities to get you at first. So that it's just, there's so many different rules that I think it's going to be a little, I think there's going to be some rough patches to start the season that they're going to have to get through. But overall, I think it's going to be good.
What's your anticipation of, what's a realistic anticipation for this team? Because we've bounced back between, hey, let's shoot for 500. Hey, that's kind of Vegas is thinking 84 wins. But then we get a lot of fans that are like, if you don't make the playoffs, this season's a failure.
162-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like Ian said, if you don't win today, you can't do that. What do you think are realistic expectations for where this team can finish?
Well, my feelings are coming out of spring training, you always felt like if you didn't make the playoffs, it was a failure. Regardless of what the experts on the outside were saying or Vegas or whatever, you felt like the guys that you had in that clubhouse were capable of winning and going to the playoffs. That's always the feeling. But with this club, I think the offense gets overlooked a little bit because of the acquisitions they made on the mound. The pitching staff obviously has potential to be dominant if they can stay healthy, but the offense gets a little overlooked.
With Garcia and Lowe, I feel like they do not get the respect they deserve.
Yeah, I really feel like they're going to be able to create a lot of runs. I think they were 5th in the league in runs last year. So that, and I didn't feel like Seager or Simeon really got going until the All-Star break. And you get a normal season from these 2 guys, a productive, well-rounded season from those 2 guys, and then Josh Young has really, really impressed me with his bat. Defensively, he's really improved. I just think that the offense is getting overlooked a little bit.
Whenever you say improved, because we've heard that from Chris Young as well, can you give us a breakdown of what you see that lets you know, hey, that looks better?
I mean, his feet are just moving a lot better. He's positioning himself in better places when the ball's coming to him, whether that he's making a throw to first or turning a double play. His positioning is just better. I think it's come with experience and comfort. The more repetition you get, the more that you work with the coaches, the more you dedicate yourself to that, the better you get. I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Not everybody's that way, but that's the idea, and he's definitely improved.
Well, you got to do, which a lot of people don't know maybe, is you got to participate, obviously, in WBC, and then also you got to coach with Team Israel. Have you ever thought about coaching now that I know you're working with the Rangers, but to help out the young guys going forward, giving them more tips to help them to get to this level?
Yeah, I think that'll be part of what I'm doing, and being AA a little bit and helping those guys, and whether it's defensively or base running, whatever I see is trying to help the organization as a whole. So that could be, A-ball, AA, AAA, and these guys in the big leagues. I think the big leagues is a little bit different because they have so many coaches here, and they're constantly being being evaluated and trying to figure out a way to get better day in and day out. So, you know, as in my position, it's not going to be probably as relevant here, but helping CY with, you know, roster construction or trades or, I mean, even amateur draft, whatever, you know, I'm really game for anything.
I know this is a question for both of you guys, Ian and Derek. Give me kind of your best memory of each other. You guys got to play a lot of baseball together. We're on 2 World Series teams.
And your
Does a
worst.
Derek Holland memory come up or an Ian Kinsler memory come up for you as you guys played so many games?
If you guys want to share your worst memory of each other, too.
I was going to say, well, it's more, for me, it was like getting to face him for the first time after obviously playing with him. I remember the first time I got up there, I kind of like lost it a little bit. I lost my composure because it's, you know, I played with him. He's somebody I've looked up to. He's helped me out a lot, and it's like, oh, crap, I got to face him. And then all I kept thinking is, just throw it inside because he's going to pull it so far foul. And sure enough, I left a grapefruit for him, and he got a home run. But I did get to punch his
First
ticket.
at bat?
His first at bat in San Diego.
Wow. Yeah.
I got him back, though.
He got me back. But he's got to strike me out 3 more times to really even the scales, and I'm not playing anymore. So
We'll set some up.
you're only as good as your last one.
Backyard stuff.
No, for me, honestly, there's a lot of memories that I have playing with Derek. But the one that stands out the most for me is that World Series start that he had at the Bowl Ballpark. It was just that was the pinnacle of Derek Holland. Like he was on point that game from the first pitch to the time that Wash came out and got him. He dominated the game, and it was just so cool to see him come from a young age, come through the organization, come up, and then get to that point where we're all in a World Series game together, and then watch him, you know, from second base just dominate the game. That was, for me, probably the highlight of his career, really, and for me, like, I'll remember that forever.
This is a 2-parter, but on the field, turning a double play. And I don't know how much you've thought about how that feeling of turning a perfect double play. Did you like being the guy that flipped, or did you like being the guy that was turning and throwing?
Well, at second base, you're involved in pretty much, 80% of double plays, all double plays. So I just love them. I mean, there's something about getting 2 that just brings excitement. It relaxes your pitcher. There's just so many things that it does. It infuriates the other team.
Yeah.
They're pissed. You're happy. And it's kind of it's definitely a swing in the game. So I love turning double plays, whether it was me starting it or finishing it. And anytime there was a spectacular play on the front end, I mean, those are the sweetest.
Man, we love that you came on with us. Appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate
We're
it.
all pumped for opening day. I can already tell Derek wants to continue this conversation off air, which is always a good sign. There you go, Texas Rangers Hall of Famer Ian Kinsler right here in your home of the Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next, who will be the Rangers MVP in 2023? We'll discuss that as we get closer and closer to opening day right here on 105.3 The Fan.
From our fan studio, secured by DFWsecurity.com, it's the KNC Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan.
KNC Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan. We're live at Globe Life Field for Texas Rangers opening day, where
It's opening day.
you might have heard the blasting themes from 2001, A Space Odyssey, as the roof is being opened, and we are about 1 hour away from the true beginning of the Major League Baseball season. I know Aaron Judge already hit a home run, but the beginning of the Rangers season. My question for everybody was going to be, who will be the Rangers MVP in 2023? 877-881-1053. Tolos, Twolos, YouTubers, if you want to get involved, we're going to roll all the way up until 2:30.
What?
Pre-game's going to take over. First pitch set for about 3:07, all right here on The Fan.
Kevin, I do want to point out, I just had a Tolo and his daughter show up, and his daughter was screaming, "Where's Reggie?" And so
good question.
I called Reggie, and unfortunately, we couldn't hear him, but he could hear her. And he said, give her a big hug, and then I sent a picture to him. So, hey, man, we're trying to take care of Tolos out here as well. And you can feel the difference in the stadium now that the roof is opening.
Oh, yeah.
There's a breeze coming through. It's just, man.
The field looks totally different.
It's spectacular, dude. I love this. My MVP for this year, Mike, is the roof. Yeah, it's the roof is going to be the MVP. No, it's definitely going to be for me, and I think I've hinged the season on this guy. is Nathaniel Lowe. I think he's going to hit.
Yeah.
He's going to hit 300. He's going to hit 20 home runs, something like that. He's going to have a couple of special moments where he's at the plate, and the season is like, oh wow, that if we didn't get that win, then we wouldn't have gotten this far on this. So I'm going to go with Nate Lowe, even though I know there are some other guys to choose from. That's my guy.
I cannot hear you, Mike, if you are talking. All right, we have lost Mike Bassick.
We lost Mike. I think you have the wrong headset on.
Maybe
he has the other headset on.
Oh.
It's right here, Mike. Here you go.
All right, so Mike's lost the headset because he wanted to go down the field with Derek Holland. Mike is back. He found the headset that worked.
Actually, I have to go
Everybody
home.
give a round of applause to Mike Bassick.
Thank you. It feels like my only opening day where I gave up a 9 spot in 2 innings. Cubs are really happy about that.
Yeah.
I like your Nate Lowe. I like that there's multiple people to pick from because I'm deciding in my head right now to pick between Corey Seager and Jacob deGrom.
Makes sense.
And I lean towards Corey Seager because he can play every day.
Yep.
I do think that Jacob deGrom is going to have a major impact on this season. Not only the day he starts, but he gives you kind of 2 days, the day before and the day after his start, of you don't have to push that starting pitcher. Let's just say Andrew Heaney is going to start the 5th game of the year. Well, as the season progresses, Jacob deGrom's arm will get stronger and he can go 100, 110 pitches in a game. Is that you feel like deGrom can possibly give you 7 to 9 innings in that day. So if you're in a tight game, I hope it's not this high a scoring against our pitcher, but 4-4 in the 4th inning.
Right, yeah.
You're like, you know what? Let's try to win this one. And let's rely on Jacob deGrom going 7, 8, or 9 innings tomorrow because we believe Jacob deGrom's in one of those rhythms that he has where he can just dominate all of Major League Baseball. So Jacob deGrom I lean towards, but I do think playing every day is so valuable. And I think Corey Seager, all the analytics are saying,
with the elimination of the shift, I'm with you.
that he's going to be more of a 280 to 300 hitter, and hopefully he can still pop 30 home runs for you. He needs to play a better defense. I'm being, letting you know that there's another part that needs to be better than last year. I think Corey Seager does that, and I do think Corey Seager is an all-star this year and the MVP of the Texas Rangers.
I like it.
From the 214, I saw you guys at the game. I was too afraid to say hi.
Oh, good.
No, not good.
Oh.
Feel free. We've had people stopping by all day long. From the 817, they're going to say Josh Young. Whoa, from the 940.
Like you said, Rookie of the Year and MVP.
From the 940. No, I'm not calling that just yet. From the 940, Corey Seager. From the 806, Corey Seager. From the 903, they say Adolis Garcia is their MVP. I like it. And then in the 903, and you got to figure he's going to get a lot of credit if this all works, Bruce Bochy
MVP?
is their MVP. I don't know if that cheats the spirit of the question or not.
They can't run anymore.
That's true. That is true.
That does cheat the spirit, Kevin.
Dallas Morning News, they had 6 experts.
Oh.
Is that an acceptable amount?
Again, this is an
Name
even
them.
number. This
Name
is an even
the
number,
people.
Mike. You need an odd number.
Evan Grant.
I know him.
Sean McFarland.
Not sure.
Kevin Sherrington.
Yeah, I know him.
Tim Kalishaw.
I know him.
Abraham.
Lincoln?
Noodle Steiger. I'm sorry, I should have looked that up ahead of time. And then Newey Scruggs.
Oh, okay, I've heard him, yeah.
One of them picked Adolis Garcia as their MVP. 2 said Simeon, and 3 said Seager.
In your face, deGrom.
Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting, of those 6, only 2 picked deGrom to have the most wins. And if Jacob deGrom doesn't have the most wins, either this is an electrifyingly special season or things have not gone well.
Or we're the Mets offense when he pitched.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It is so weird to me how when a really good pitcher is up, and I know he's probably pitching against the other best pitcher too, but how those games turn into like 1-run games. You're like, you can't get more offense for that guy. It's like, well, he's that good. He needs to be able to keep them from getting runs.
From the 469, Martin Perez. 2 of the people that voted him for the most wins. I know that's different than MVP. From the 432, Robbie Grossman. From the 469, Garcia. And from the 214, Marcus Simeon. Plays every day, good defensively, and can put up good numbers. So they feel like that's your most well-rounded, perhaps, Texas Rangers player. And then from the 469, Chris Young will be the MVP for a big midseason trade. We talked about that a lot in terms of bullpen. I don't know if people will recognize that as a big trade, but getting bullpen reinforcements, there goes the side.
Yay!
Bullpen reinforcements if this team is competitive.
Yeah, and I know that we asked Chris Young about the bullpen. He talked about putting it together, but I do think that Chris Young, I think he's a genius. I know I'm biased because I played with him. I know him. He's a smart person. He's a baseball guy. He knows the analytics. Like, he is the perfect combination of, I know this is too big a praise. He's like the combination of John Daniels and Nolan Ryan. You have that in one person. And when Rangers were the most successful, they might have not been the best of friends. But John Daniels and Nolan Ryan made a great combination of getting things right. And they disagreed on things. And sometimes somebody got their way and they totally disagreed with it, and the vice versa happened. But having two different minds on the game really helped out the Rangers. And Chris Young has two different minds, but it's all in the same brain.
Yeah, he's one of those. I have a most improved player. I got it for Jonah Heim this year. I think we get a guy that we're like, man, he took that next step to being a really good, maybe everyday
Heim
catcher.
time.
Yeah.
And the thing about Heim time is, last year, a lot of guys warned us, hey, when you haven't ever been an everyday catcher, the second half's a really tough half because your body starts kind of failing you. And so to your point, you can be really improved because the second half was a struggle.
Yep.
We're the KNC Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next, it is baseball time in Texas. So let's talk with Jared Sandler. We'll do it next right here on The Fan.
Coming up
1053thefan.com.
This segment on the KNC Masterpiece is brought to you by Frankel & Frankel. There's a reason you need a special license to drive a big truck, so companies that hire drivers and put them in a big truck should be held accountable for what happens when one hurts you. Frankly, you need Frankel & Frankel. The consultation, it is always free. Visit truckwreck.com.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-1, the Rangers lead in the top of the 9th. Feliz the high set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 call! The Rangers are going to the World Series!
KNC Masterpiece back here on 105.3 The Fan. We just saw Sean Tollison, who gave us the greatest spring training answer in history when he said some guys are lucky to have 1 wall. I have 3 walls by his locker. Right now, courtesy of Blue Nail Roofing, I love that answer so much. Courtesy of Blue Nail Roofing, we bring to you our Rangers insider and now Rangers broadcaster, Jared Sandler. Good afternoon, sir. How hyped are you for your particular role on this opening day?
Well, I know the
circumstances.
Yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't feel right without Eric.
I
know you're not trying to.
I hear.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, listen. I grew up a diehard Rangers fan. Right? I never went to an opening day game as a fan, and I've been able to now go, each of the last 9 years, and to be able to broadcast an opening day game is special. But obviously want Eric back, and I know we'll get him back soon. But just in general, the atmosphere, the vibe, the excitement. I guess it's easy to fake on opening day, but now comparing it to the last
that
few,
smile doesn't look fake.
No,
Smile doesn't look
but
fake.
it's not just me. I mean, like the players too. They get it. They know. Some guys don't actually read what's out there, but a lot of guys know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they know that this year they are in a position to do something that they haven't really been in a position to do since 2016. That's exciting.
What say you about that position? What is your official prediction for this year?
Well, in honor of Eric, I don't give official predictions. Is
face,
that a good cop-out?
Yes.
I mean, but I'm putting it on Eric, so I can't.
that's a good point.
On me.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's my shield.
Okay, are the playoffs a
Yes.
reasonable hope?
Yeah, here's what I would say. The way I would put it is there's obviously so many variables throughout a year. If this team is not competing for a playoff spot in mid-September, and by that I don't mean, they won a game September 16th, they're 7 back, and they're not. If they are not like tooth and nail, we're not scoreboard watching, that would be a disappointment. And I think this is a team that will win in the mid-80s. It's just a matter of is 85, 86, 87 wins enough to get into the playoffs? Last year, 86 was enough for Tampa, but obviously every year it's going to be a little different.
With watching a guy like DeGrom, have you ever called a game for a guy at that level, that extremely good talent?
Yeah, spring training when Jacob DeGrom pitched.
Oh,
that was That was the first time.
Jared Sandler is sassy.
No. I'm agreeing with. I'm saying, the only other time was when I saw this guy. He is unbelievable.
It's different, huh?
I mean, it's kind of like watching Mike Bassick play basketball. It's just a thing of beauty. He's special, right? I mean, he's 6'4". His motion, his delivery is like poetry. He throws it 101 wherever he wants. He throws a 93-mile-an-hour slider wherever he wants. I mean, it's silly. I was going through the history between Jacob DeGrom and individual players on the Phillies, and it's like 0 for 12 with 10 strikeouts, 1 for 22 with 11 strikeouts. I think JT Realmuto's 4 for 37 or something with 4. I mean, it's just he does it against bad hitters. He does it against great hitters. Was it, John Smoltz said with Sean and RJ, with you guys, it is unfair when this guy's on the mound and healthy.
I think what is really cool, not only about today, Jared, but about doing pre and post, and you doing pre and post and also doing the games right now, is every day the Rangers have a chance to win. And I'm not trying to knock anybody last year or the last couple of years in the rotation, but yes, Jacob DeGrom, that is super special. But then when you do get to Eovaldi and Perez and Gray and Heaney, you still feel like, no, they can lead us to a victory today.
Someone told me earlier that there was a 34-day stretch last year when John Gray was on the IL where the Rangers were not favored to win a single game. And a lot of that is dictated by their starting pitcher, right? Even if you're not a great team, if you've got Jacob DeGrom starting, you're going to be favored. Well, they didn't have that. And Martin Perez just ran into a few bad matchups, right? He obviously was an all-star, had a great year. But to your point, there are going to be a lot more nights when the Rangers are favored this year than in the past, because whether it's DeGrom or, gosh, I'm excited about Nathan Eovaldi on Saturday. He's been really impressive too. Perez, John Gray, and then if Andrew Heaney's your fifth starter, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I would be inclined. Is there anybody lineup-wise that you feel like has maybe not gotten the attention that you think they should? Because sometimes it kind of feels like people are like, this lineup's fine.
Well, I'd say I really think Robbie Grossman is going to give more than what a $2 to $3 million player would give as far as stretching the lineup, the patience. I'm also curious about Brad Miller. You know, he had a really rough year last year. Kind of made the team because he's got some guaranteed money. Doesn't mean he's going to be here all year, but he's healthy. And I'm curious to see, after a bad year, how a healthy Brad Miller bounces back as a weapon perhaps against right-handed pitching.
Appreciate it very much. We're looking forward to hearing
like old
you
times.
and Matt on the call. Look how far we've come, Jared. All right, there goes.
We still have to be separated, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true. All right, there you go.
See you guys.
Jared Sandler, thank you very, very much. Mike, 1 to 10, what's your excitement level?
11.
Corey, 1 to 10, what's your excitement level?
5,000.
That
Yes,
is
as long as
silly.
we don't
10
answer-
is the most
Yeah,
that can
strike
be.
5,000
Like your anger
strikeouts.
level
That
at
was,
10 a.m.
That's a good point. All right, coming up next, pregame show. First pitch, Rangers, Phillies, about 3:07. We've been the KNC Masterpiece. Make your way back with us tomorrow right here on 105.3 The Fan.
Good night, Kevin.
The latest from the Star and